Hi, welcome to an online tutorial for Zearn, an online math curriculum designed for kindergarten through fifth graders. When you start a new web browser, make sure you go to zearn.org on your URL. You're going to come to a screen that has a login information to type in your email and password, or you may sign in with Google if you're creating a new account. When you come to this screen, make sure that you hit an adult. If you're a teacher creating an account, make sure that your information is correct, that your email is correct, and then click Next. Be sure to click on the appropriate person. If you're a teacher, you can click Teacher, your zip code for your school. Make sure that you click on the drop-down menu to find your school, your grade level, and then how you heard about Zearn. Make sure that you read through the terms and conditions and then click Accept. Now you're ready to get started to create your own class. When you come to the home screen for the first time, you're going to see a video where the designers of this website or this curriculum want you to see how it was designed to be implemented in the classroom. So this is a video where you can see how it's being used, you can see how students interact with the technology, how they're learning and working, and how a teacher is also interacting with other groups at the same time. Now you'll come to the actual home screen where you can start to create a class. There are lots of different options on this screen, and I'm going to begin with showing you how to create one class at a time. You'll come to the top of this page and you'll see classes. When you click on that, you'll be ready to get started to add a class, one class at a time, by clicking the Add Class button. Make sure to name your class. Your grade level should be the correct grade level, and you can click Finish. Now that you've created a class very quickly and simply, you're going to be given a class code. This class code can only be used for that one class that you're setting up. You can decide to print this off for students. It does have an option for that, or you can decide how you want to push it out to students, copying, pasting it to a different website or something like that. Now you're ready to add students. You may also add another class if you teach more than one class. I'm going to show you how to add students from this point on. You click on the button Add Students. Here you can go ahead and type in students' first and last name. For example, Connor Williams. I'm only going to show you one name, but of course you'll have several listed on this same page. So you have their first and last name, and then you continue to enter other names to fill in your entire class. And again, the class code is here, which will also appear for students. When they log in, they'll see a spot to type in this code on their screen, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Click Next when you have all of your students listed on this page. Then you'll see a screen where you'll see a list of student names. You'll also see a generated username and password for each student, and then their grade level should be the same as you entered from the beginning. You have the choice to change this setting. You can change the username. You can change the password. For example, if I want this student to only have his name for his username so he can remember that better, then I'm just going to leave his name. Also for the password, I may want to make the password different. Okay, look, I'm seeing that you may have to enter a number. So I would enter 1 for his name possibly, or sometimes they may be taken. So maybe it looks like I'm going to have to do that number, but that's okay. So for the password, I'm going to change it as well to make it easier, and I'm going to make it the teacher's name. And then the school abbreviation, Oak Ridge Elementary School. Hopefully that will work. When I click Add Student, I can also add student from this page, and I can continue on from here. And then you can do the same thing for your students. When you're finished, making sure that you have the appropriate username and password that you want for each student. That will be easier for them to remember. Click Next. Of course, you need to have everything filled out, so I'll go ahead and finish this. There are no spaces in the name. And then it looks like I'm going to need a number for him as well. Sometimes it does generate a number for you if it's already taken. And then I'm going to have my name and then the school name for the password. And then you can click Next. At this page, you will see a place where you can decide where you want the students to begin working. This is very important. This is the part where, as a teacher, you have control over what they are doing and what they are learning about. So here you see grade 5, mission 1. So mission 1 looks like place value with decimal and fractions. This is about deciding what skill you want your students to practice with. And you'll see you can choose where you want them to begin, but then as they go along completing the lessons, it will, of course, move them through that unit of study. So this unit is only this first one, and then the topics are parts of that skill and of that study. As a teacher and as an educator, you cannot decide what they do next. You can only decide where they begin, and then it moves them through an order, and you can't change the order. So when you pick your mission, then they just go along and complete the lessons for that mission. Click Finish. Now you are ready for your students to begin working. Here's an example of what you may want to show your students when they are logging in for the first time. This is what they will have to enter. They can go to the website. There's also an app for them if they have iPads that they can easily access on their iPad. They'll type in their information, their username and password, and then they'll click Sign In. When they sign in, they will be directed to enter the class code. So make sure that that's available for them. At this point, you can go ahead and hit Done. And you have another screen here that gives you kind of the rundown of what you've already done. So you should have a list of your students' names, passwords, information, and then a list of the assigned lesson that you place them on and their grade level. So this is just to verify where they are, where they're working. And you will also see this list come up when you view the reports. So that is what I want to show you next. To find reports, you go back to this 1st through 5th grade button at the top, and then you'll see when you click on that, you'll see 2 options at the top left corner for curriculum and reports. The best thing to do is to click on reports after you decided on where you want them to begin, and then you'll see the breakdown between 4 different components. You'll see progress. Progress will have, when you're here, you'll have a list of names, students' names, their lesson that they're on. This will also show you how long they're on the lesson, how much time they've spent, and what lesson they're at. And it gives you kind of a breakdown of what they've already done that week. So you know if they haven't completed any lessons, they need to be on it more, maybe work on it at home. If they've completed more than 3 lessons or a lot of lessons, then you know they're in good shape. So that is a great resource. Also for the PACE, if you click on PACE, you're going to see a different type of breakdown. So here's where it breaks it up into weekly lessons, and it gives you the entire percentage of how many students are completing how many lessons every week. If you look at the top left corner up here, you'll see a color-coded way of knowing how many lessons they've completed as well. So 4 or more being green, and then all the way down to 0 or 1 being red. You want to typically have your students in the green, yellow to green, mostly green, and the percentage will show you the breakdown of that. So you'll know if you see a lot of red here for this week, then you need to then more students should be working in Zearn. So that's a quick, easy way to just track their progress and to see where they are. And I like how it breaks it up through by week, so it's easy to see that as well. When you go to Tower Alerts, this will show you how many students are struggling in what areas based off of their lessons. And this Tower lessons are the main component of each lesson in Zearn. So these are where they're working on practice problems, where they have to write it out in their journals. So this is the meat of the lesson. This is where you may want them to really, really focus on and write things down. So that's a great area to keep track of. Sprint alerts are a little bit different. They're also alerts where you can see if students are struggling. However, this sprint is where students quickly answer questions for fluency. So they're a little bit different as far as how they are answering the questions. So it's very specific based off of how they're doing, how they're exceeding, what strengths and weaknesses that they may have. So you can reteach concepts. You can have small groups to reteach those skills. So you have lots of different resources just within that component of reports. So these are the two main things I wanted to show you today, the reports and then the curriculum, which is where we began with the logging in and with choosing the curriculum for them to begin on. So there are lots of other resources that you could explore and keep exploring, and that I'm still exploring because it's a lot to see and pretty awesome things that you can do. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I hope that you enjoyed learning about how to create an account, and I thank you so much for listening.